Thanks for tuning in to the Vintage Cinema Review. On this week's episode, we're covering from 1992, Juice.
Yes, if Boys in the Hood and Straight Outta Brooklyn weren't good enough for you, there came Juice.
I thought you were going to say if they got together and had a baby.
Oh.
But I get what you're coming from, or get what you're saying. You got Tupac in here, Q.
Omar Epps, yeah.
Omar Epps. Just a cool movie. It takes me back to when I was a kid in high school.
Yeah, countless cameos in this. A lot of cool stuff to talk about. Definitely nostalgic. So we hope you're enjoying the podcast. Speaking of which, if you are, leave that 5-star rating on Spotify, on Apple. 5-star rating and written review would really help us out. And sit back, relax, and enjoy from 1992, Juice. Hey, this is Dave.
Matt.
And Zap.
And welcome to the Vintage Cinema Review,
where every week we review some of our favorite films from the past.
Hey, there ain't no late fees here.
Silence is golden. And be kind. Rewind.
Ooh, I like that sound.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Hey, what's going down?
Not much.
Some sweets popping in there today.
Is it?
It is, man. This is a classic. For me and Matt, we have a history with this one.
Yes, this is a straight up classic.
From 1992, Juice. This was Matt's pick.
Yes, this was one of my go-to movies. I don't really own this movie or anything like that, but if I see it on like HBO or Max or I don't know, just like you said, a lot of cool memories from this movie.
So Zap, you didn't see this back then?
No.
This is your first time through?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm excited to hear what you thought.
Oh. Okay.
So this one, release date on this, January 17th, 1992. And I think we were at the theater that weekend to see it.
Opening weekend.
Yeah.
That was an experience.
It was. We'll get into that.
Yeah,
That's a cool
we'll
story.
talk about that.
So running time on this, 95 minutes. And this was directed by Ernest R. Dickerson. Story by Ernest R. Dickerson. And produced by David Heyman and Neil H. Moritz.
Putting on Moritz.
Yeah, putting on Moritz. He also did, I recognize the name. He did Fast and Furious, all that franchise. I Know What You Did Last Summer, Urban Legend. Most recently, Sonic the Hedgehog movies that have been out.
This guy makes bank.
Yeah.
I'm sure that all of those movies pale in comparison to the revenue derived from this gem.
From Juice.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fast and the Furious made quite a bit of money, I believe.
This guy's not.
Wait, more than Juice? No.
I don't know.
Like $1
is a Juice worth the squeeze? No
I
pun
guess
intended. We'll find out. We'll find out. Budget on this, $5 million. Box office, $20.1 million.
All right.
So Matt and I, we put about $7 towards
There
that.
you go.
That's when, a movie was $7. You get like a popcorn for $2.
Look, that's a 400% return. Certainly the juice is worth the squeeze.
Definitely. Yeah, tickets back then probably like $325, $350. You remember early 90s what we were looking at?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was less than $5 a person. And then you could go to the Elks in Middletown. And that was $2.
$2.
$2.
$2.
Wow. I don't think I've ever seen a movie there at the Elks. But
You probably never will.
I guess not. I was just down there, right near there at the Brownstone.
Oh, they got good breakfast there.
Banging crab soup.
Yeah, I was
Brownstone.
Dancing with Mr. Brownstone.
Yeah.
He won't leave me alone.
That's a good jam. Guns N' Roses. Were they on the soundtrack for Juice? I don't know.
I'm guessing no.
Probably, maybe not.
They were on the B side.
The B side.
You guys didn't flip the tape.
Yeah. So I guess that's it for one last thing too. This was filmed almost entirely in Harlem, New York, between March of 91 and April of 91. So a little over a month. That's pretty much it for that. And I'll turn it over to Zap for the cast.
All right. So the cast of Juice includes Omar Epps as Quincy Q. Powell, Tupac Shakur as Roland Bishop, Khalil Kane as Raheem Porter, Jermaine Hopkins as Eric Steele Thurman, Cindy Heron as Yolanda, Vincent Laresca as Radamez, Samuel L. Jackson as Trip, George O. Gore II as Brian, Grace Garland as Quincy's mother, Queen Latifah as Rough House MC,
Word.
Yeah.
Victor Campos as Fernando Quiles, and Oran Jones as Snappy Nappy Dugout.
Nice.
Fernando. That's fun to say. Fernando.
Ooh, Fernando. Ooh, Fernando.
Now, Zap, for not seeing this movie, you can't tell me that Samuel L. Jackson was not cool.
No, he was great.
He's always great. He's good, man. The guy's good at what he does.
This was after, in my opinion, I guess, Samuel L. Jackson's coming out movie, like when you really first saw him, which was one of Dave's all-time favorites, Goodfellas.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Stacks.
Yeah. From there, you started to see more and more of Samuel L. Jackson. Obviously, blew it out of the water with Pulp Fiction in '94.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, he did a great job with this movie. Absolutely.
You know what blew my mind when I looked it up? Because I was curious on ages, and I'll get to the other ages, but Samuel L. Jackson was 43 when they filmed this movie.
Man, he was 62 years old in this movie.
You ain't never met no Frank Sinatra. So,
But
92. This came out 31 years ago, and he was 43.
43. He was
So
born
he's
in
74.
Yep, now he is.
Dang.
He was born in 48.
Dang,
Now,
black don't crack.
I know he looked great in it, but
Yeah.
He looks great now.
he does.
Yeah, he looks the same.
He does, but I'm watching this movie and I'm thinking like, oh, Samuel again. And he, like you said, he was getting hot around that time. Pulp Fiction came out later. Obviously, we talked about Goodfellas and
Do the right thing.
Do the Right Thing. That was in the 80s, I guess, right? 89, maybe 88.
88.
But
87?
If you say.
yeah, but that he got such a late start because he's a great actor. I mean,
Sure.
he's awesome.
Sure.
So, but yeah, I have some other ages, but we'll get into them later. I'll turn it over, I guess, to Matt now for the brief synopsis
The brief synopsis of the movie Juice.
from the back of the VHS.
Yes, this is official right here.
Like a referee's whistle.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a whistle.
What's that from?
That's Snoop Dogg.
Ah, Snoop Dogg. All right.
Do you know his Snoop album that just turned 30 years old?
What, Doggy Style?
Yeah,
Nice.
they just had something on like a MTV Classic or something like that. That's 30 years ago.
It's crazy.
Juice. Raheem, Bishop, Steele. They're four Harlem friends who spend their days hanging out looking for a way to get the power and respect they call juice. Q hopes to earn respect by becoming a scratch and mix DJ. Bishop has a deadlier plan. He wants to take it through an armed robbery, and he wants his crew to be with him. Features the cutting-edge music of Eric B. and Rakim, Naughty by Nature, Big Daddy Kane, Salt and Pepper, and others. Juice has the juice. Now, did we ever use that when we were in school? Anybody like
You got the juice?
yeah,
has
like
the
my man
juice?
got the juice?
No.
No,
I
don't-
never heard that until I just watched this
Just
movie
the
a couple
movie.
of weeks ago.
I didn't know Juice until we had him on our show.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We should remake this about our juice.
Yeah,
the
that'd
guy
be
runs
cool.
Pucks with Pros.
Well, we did the OJ podcast.
That is true.
So
yeah,
we had a juice moment there.
that is true. Yeah,
I don't know.
he had the juice.
So I guess I can appreciate what you guys are saying with respect to you dug the soundtrack. You dug that feel at the time, that the early 90s hip hop vibe that was going on at the time. So sure, you're going to go see this movie. A latecomer, they're just not going to get it. Or,
Right.
No.
No, I agree. I could see that.
Yeah.
Like watching it now. I mean, it's still, to me, it's just I kind of
Nostalgia.
It's nostalgia.
Yeah.
What it reminds me of is like Cannonball Run, but I think it's better than Cannonball Run.
Sure.
But
Oh my
Cannonball
God.
Run had like so many cameos and star-studded cast that you're just like, oh, look, Terry Bradshaw. Oh, it's Sammy
I
Davis.
mean, Terry Bradshaw was not in this movie. Just
No, not in Juice.
yeah, just let you guys know.
He could have been though.
He could have. No, but it's the I just remember like Dave when my mom dropped us off to see this movie.
Your mom was in this movie.
Yeah, she was. They don't.
We'll get there.
She's in the cameo.
dang.
Yeah, she
You
got a
didn't
great
catch that?
part.
No.
Oh,
Rose. Yeah, she. Dave's like, man, is that your mom?
Did you see that you know I'm talking about?
Yeah, the lady that sells the gun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I did think of that. I was going to actually say something to you about that. Thank you for the reminder.
If you look it up on your phone or whatever, or any your devices at home, if you see this part, the lady who sells the gun looks just like my mom.
Could we put a picture up of you and your mom like on the social media so people get, and then put like an AB? Would she care?
I don't know. I'd have to ask.
Ask her.
If you need one, I've got a picture of
Oh,
Matt's
man,
mom.
come on, man.
I got it in my wallet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a juice scenario here, like the movie here. These guys are gonna be going at it, like Bishop
Yeah.
and Q.
Yeah.
But yeah, so definitely, yeah, this movie is definitely nostalgic for me. I had just got my license a month before. This is one of the soundtracks, one of the cassettes I was definitely playing in my car. This one with Ghetto Boys. There was a bunch of stuff that I had. This soundtrack was amazing. I'm sure it helped make the movie better. I didn't really know too much about Tupac at the time. He wasn't really... Tupacalypse Now was already out, his first album, but
He wasn't in like Poetic. This was kind of his first one,
This
right?
was his first one. Yeah, I was
That
aware
before,
of
like-
him.
Yeah.
But I mean, he wasn't, the star that he became, or
They actually said his acting was like pretty on point because he took a lot. It was like mostly like a lot of his kind of growing up. Like he really didn't have to. Some of these guys
being himself.
Yeah,
almost,
yeah, they could pretty much be themselves, like just acting how it is, like growing up in a city, or just that kind of feel to it.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Tupac.
Tupac.
Sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he was 20 years old, and Omar Epps was 18. I thought Omar Epps did well in this. Too,
He did
for 18.
very good.
And Cindy Herron, you know where she's from?
In Living Color.
No,
Distinguished gentleman.
nope. She was the founding member of En Vogue,
Oh, look at that.
Oh.
Yeah.
How about that?
and she's 30 years old at the time they're making this movie. So
Dang.
Omar Epps is getting like around 30, according to the internet.
Wait, which one was Cindy Herron? Was she's the
He's
older?
the one that Q was hooking up with.
The older,
the older one, the older lady.
yeah.
the
that
girl that
kicking
was
it.
divorcing her
Yeah,
husband or
she's
some
like,
shit.
get out,
Right,
Mom,"
right.
or whatever his name was.
A lot of cool cameos in this movie. I mean, we had Dr. Dre and I Lover, who we all know from UMTV Raps.
They were in
there.
the scratch battle part.
Yeah.
yeah.
Fab Five Freddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was also from UMTV Raps. Donnie Faison, you know him from Scrubs and the T-Bone commercials that are out now.
If you say.
Yeah, you remember Scrubs? With
No, I remember the show.
Yeah, he was.
I should say I know that it exists. I never watched it.
Well, he's on a commercial with the other guy from Scrubs, Zach. What's his name?
Efron.
No, the guy from
Galifianakis.
Scrubs. No, the other Zach. Would it be
Zack Attack from
Zack Attack?
No, Zach.
The Lego Maniac?
The guy that the movie was like Jersey State or something like that, or
Zach. Not Jersey State. What was that called?
Jersey Boys?
no.
It's a movie.
His family owns the Glass Lounge. Actually, this actor, he was in Scrubs. He's a well-known. Well, anyway, he's in a T-Mobile commercial with his Donnie Faison because they were in Scrubs together.
Well, I don't want no scrub. A scrub is
It starts with a beat on it, bro.
Someone won't get no love.
Brandon.
You got to know. Well, we'll have to look it up.
I trust
Mailbag
you.
that.
I trust you.
Oh crap! It's one of like my wife's favorite actors.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! All right, yeah.
Whatever.
So also in this was EPMD, who I'm
They were-
actually wearing their T-shirt right now.
Yeah, they were at the
They
bar
were the
scene.
bar patrons. Yeah.
December 9th, they'll be in concert.
I'm trying to go this Saturday.
Yeah, I won't be here. I'll be out of town, but I wanted to go.
Also, Special Ed, who was a rapper. I'm the Magnificent.
Yep.
And all that. He was in the red Passat. That was much like
the red Volkswagen Passat.
Did Jack? One of our friends drove a red Passat just like that, right?
I thought it was green, but it was red. You're right.
I had a green Passat.
Yeah.
That was similar to the one that he had the Wolfsburg edition. Did you see the little
logo on the side?
Yeah, that's big
fancy.
time. It is.
And also, last but not least, Tretch from Naughty by Nature was in this. And Rodamez's crew. He was one of the crew.
He was one of the
Yeah.
Yep.
I want to sex you up.
That's it. Color Me Bad.
Shit, I thought that was Naughty by Nature.
No. Naughty by Nature is like OPP and all that.
No, they had-
Yeah, that's right. That's
yeah,
right.
Color
that's
Me
right.
Bad was Sex You Up.
Naughty by Nature had that banger they played at the end of the movie.
Uptown Anthem.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like
That
I
was a
just
good one.
yeah that was something I had in my car.
And then you get your ass kicked.
No, never. That was going Stilton downtown anthem.
Funny story about Tretch and Naughty by Nature. So that album came out September 3rd, 1991. So we were what? September 91, ninth grade?
We were just starting our
Sophomore year.
Sophomore year.
So I got the cassette, and in the, I'm reading in the, back then, when we talk about, you can pull out the insert and read
Sure.
about it. And I'm looking at the group members, and I'm like, oh, Treach.
Treach.
I thought his name. I was talking to someone like, yeah, this guy Treach, he's pretty good. And they're like, Treach, what are you talking about? It's Tretch. So I learned something there.
There you go.
It's like reading Harry Potter. I thought the character was Hermione.
Right.
I didn't know it was Hermione.
Well, I thought that Rodamez was from Harry Potter. That name sounds like a name from that,
Like a wizard.
like
Yeah.
a wizard name.
Absolutely.
But I guess that's it for the cast and the synopsis and all that. So we'll let Matt steer us through this.
Yeah,
since
Oh
this is
wow.
movie.
Okay,
Matt,
so
please,
if I sound a little like Zap while I'm steering through this.
You have the honor. You picked this delightful movie. You please walk us through this.
All right, let me I'll do that. Okay. It's the morning of a school day in Harlem. We're introduced to Quincy, Raheem, Bishop, and Eric, all going through their individual morning routines. That means they're like all getting ready for school.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing, right? All four dudes in their own individual ways doing it. What was wrong with Roland's father? He just sits there and stares blankly at a television.
Was he on drugs? Like was he on the crackling?
It was almost like there was maybe something that happened that was like
He was watching cartoons and just chilling.
There was something that happened that was so traumatic it put him into like almost like a trance, like something like that. Now I don't know if it was like a prison rape or something that was happening when he was working at the prison.
That's traumatic.
An assault, but something that put him into that state almost that he was like comatose almost.
It's just showing he had like he had his shit growing up. Everybody had their shit.
Right.
Sure. And okay, so Roland, because at this point the only name we know him by is Roland because he's at home. But this is Bishop. This is Tupac's character. So his dad is messed up. Got it. Raheem, one of the other guys, he has a kid.
But he's having trouble with his baby's mama.
He has,
she
definitely. That's got to be tough in high school.
Yes,
like you're negotiating. Your power to negotiate's got to be kind of limited.
Yeah, he was like the good looking dude in the crew.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, he was like that smooth looking dude.
I loved watching Eric, aka Steel.
Yeah.
So back in the day, I mean, everybody wanted the biggest boom box, the best boom box, the this, that. Like, hell, I remember being a kid, the guy across the street from me, his had a 2-inch television in it.
Built into that.
Whoa.
Oh, I remember those.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought that was the most amazing thing ever. But then there's Steel, Eric, with his little boom box. Like, that might be the smallest box I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it wasn't too impressive. I
No.
had one of them ones from Sears, like boom box with the double tape deck. You know what I'm saying?
That's what my dad had one. I remember when he bought. We were out. I think it was like maybe Penny's or like one of those department store Wanamakers. I forget, but it was the all silver ones. Like they had, and it had like the EQ like in the middle with the 2 tape decks.
Hell yeah!
And like it had like that grating, the silver grating around the speakers.
Oh yeah,
it was very nice.
Hell yeah!
I remember like my brother and I both got them for Christmas. And it took like 42D batteries.
Yeah.
You'd have to put in there.
I think they take like 12.
And that was before you could recharge them.
Yes.
Yeah.
You were pitching through a lot of money for batteries, dude.
For sure.
One last part of this scene here, as we're seeing these kids in their morning routine. So everybody all gets together, right? And they're cooling it, and they're on their way to basically skipping work or whatever. They of course harass the local bodega owner, Quiles. And he just comes out, I'm going to shoot your pee-pee off, man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that dude's just trying to sell fruit, man. They won't leave him alone. No poor guy.
No.
Is that what that bodega is? Is that what that is? Like a store?
And so to be clear, a bodega is not a pejorative term. It is used quite commonly. It is just to basically explain a quickie mart in the middle of a city.
Okay.
I thought that was a haberdashery.
No. That's a quickie mart in the outskirts of Montana.
Okay, gotcha.
Bodega sounds like something like you hang out under, like in the summertime.
Yeah,
like where are the people at? Like they're down by the bodega,
right?
Having some beers.
Yeah,
that's cool though. Well, our morning continues with some harassment by a Puerto Rican gang and hanging out at a local arcade until the police show up to break up their morning of skipping school.
So, Matt, I remember as a kid, I should say in high school, you would use often the term the snappy nappy or the nappy dugout.
Nappy dugout.
Is this where you got that from?
Probably.
No, it would have been from the Ice Cube, I think.
That's the Ice Cube album.
There was an Ice Cube. I think it was either Ice Cube or the Lynch Mob, which was like an
Gorillas
offshoot.
in the Mist.
Yeah, an offshoot of Ice Cube, like kind of like he got these guys an album deal, and they had a song. I don't know if it was him or them, and it was like giving up the nappy dugout, giving up the and there was a song about it. Actually, I think it was Ice Cube, but I don't know if it would have been before this or not.
Ice Cube was 91 probably. That was freshman year. Or 92. No, he was big 92, 93.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Well, he had America's Most Wanted, which was in like after NWA, like when he broke off. So that would have been like 91, 90 around this. And then like Death Certificate and Lethal Injection and all those came out, I think, after this. Yeah, but Gorillas in the Mist, that would have been probably around this time.
The Lynch Mob?
The Lynch Mob, yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good one.
So I don't know if it came from that or this movie, you know what I mean?
What was Snappy Nappy Dugout's job? Or what was his function in this? Was he just a guy peddling stuff? This is Oran Jones's character.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So he meets, when you first meet Snappy Nappy, he's meeting with these kids while they're in the arcade.
I'm trying to think who Snappy Nappy was. I could just keep on thinking of Trip.
I can't remember that anything in particular that he was doing or selling. I just remember them at that arcade playing Street Fighter, the first one. Yeah.
So is it just me? Now look, I can't say that I've ever run from the police. So when I see a police chase, like when they come in and they break up the arcade, it's one thing to be chased by the police. It's another thing to run up the stairwells of one building, jump over to a completely different building.
Yeah, I wouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, all this for skipping school. I didn't know like the Harlem police didn't have anything to do in '92,
Right?
Except chase after kids who should be,
Well,
presuming they should be in school. You don't know that.
Well, I would think like they would have truancy officers that would go around and like do that job, not police. You know what I mean? But who knows?
But the truancy officer, did that even really exist? I remember like my grandma would say something like the truancy officer.
They for sure have truancy officers like at public schools. I mean, I don't know about anymore, but at one time that was a thing for sure.
Do they like carry a gat? Like, do they go around?
No,
What is a truancy?
Carry a gat, but
Hey, Jimmy, you should be in school. Like, do they mark it down? I don't
feel
know.
like they would show up at the house sometimes. I mean,
Like a
I
sheriff
feel like my
or-
brother maybe had, because my brother would skip school. He went to public school at one time, and I remember him skipping school and getting caught and stuff like that. And it was like a big deal.
Because when we went to school, like they would need a phone call. If they didn't get a phone call, they'd like call your parents' work number. They'd call the home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they like people like really did their job back then to make sure you were at school.
Well, I think it's different in the Catholic school thing because you've got parents that are paying good, solid, decent money to send the kid there.
Yeah, so if
Yeah.
your kid's not at school, they want the parents to know.
Correct. So these are going to be very receptive parents to, hey, your kid's not here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're paying $50 a day or whatever. You know, if you
Yeah.
average it out or
Yeah,
whatever.
For just $50 a day,
Yeah.
you're a student.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you're
my
saying.
opinion.
No, I agree. So what else we got here? Oh, the rooftop chase. Yeah, you're talking about that. Never did that, never would. I see them doing that on YouTube and stuff. People jumping like building to building and stuff. I don't have the
For what?
balls for
Just
that.
to-
Just to avoid like getting in trouble for skipping school.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd be jumping between that.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you slip, that's bad news.
And the one kid smartest out of all of them was Quincy, who is aspiring to be quite the DJ. Like
Yeah.
he's obsessed with it, man.
Yeah, for sure.
All he does is, I mean, he's up there. He wikis up in his bedroom. He's constantly listening to music. Constantly. I don't know. He's going to be something someday.
Those turntables that he had were Techniques SL 1200s. So that's like an iconic turntable.
Techniques still make
Oh, you can still buy them.
record players and stuff.
You
Yeah,
could definitely still buy them. You know, there's some people that say they're not the quality that they were, but they're still expensive. And those old ones are like sought after.
Mm.
You can pay.
Couple-
I've seen them on like $3-4 grand. You buy them now. You look up like Crutchfield has one, a newer model for like $2,200. I guess it depends on the configuration. You're going to spend between $1,000 and $2,000.
Dang.
But yeah, they're well made and they just iconic.
It's interesting you should say that. Or talk about the turntables. I was actually going to ask you about the tape deck.
Yeah, that was the Techniques as well. Yeah.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing that's another sought after device, just because if not for no other reason than nostalgia.
Yeah, I would guess so. I mean, I think with the tape deck, I mean, I'm sure Techniques makes good tape decks, but I know for a fact that the turntables are like among audiophiles and DJs, that's like a sought after line. If you can get a hold of an SL 1200, you know what I mean? You got like the creme de la creme.
Dang.
Like some people that say, you know, a lot of people say that.
which DJing like that is a lost art form today. Like a lot of these people, they don't use.
Well, it's all computer based.
Yeah, it's all computer based. They put in like the CDs. They scratch on like a thing that's not even. It's like a plastic piece of something that scratches, but to do that is harder than what people would think. Like I remember trying that as a kid, like downstairs with my dad's record player, and it's just
You need
it's not the same.
You need a weighted needle. You can't do that with just your.
No.
No, you'll scratch the shit out of it.
Yeah, correct.
But I feel like Q with this Rotocaster sometimes.
Yeah,
like
sure.
Up and down. and
You
all
look
that.
like him.
I do. I
got it.
We should get like a little mix thing in here. Just like
I just got to put my gloves on, my leather driving gloves he had for like scratching.
Yeah, you need that. Like when lifting weights, you need those other gloves, or like hanging out. If you're like doing breakdancing in the 80s, you need those gloves.
It's a good look.
Yeah. Later that morning at a local record store, Quincy distracts the clerk while the other three steal records for him, followed by a visit to a local bar for some cigarettes.
Yeah.
Oh, Zappa liked that part.
Yeah, that was a good part.
Of course. Now it's interesting. They never did get those cigarettes.
No.
The Q walks in there to get cigarettes. Was it Quincy that walked in?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Quincy walked in.
It was either Quincy or Raheem, but I'm thinking
No,
it was Quincy.
Quincy walked in. He was chasing that girl. He saw that girl and he was going in after her.
So he goes in to get the cigarettes. All of a sudden, the bar's being robbed. Quincy's actually offered to partake in the robbery, or I should say, he's offered a piece.
Yeah,
you want a piece of this?
Yeah.
He's like, nah.
But he politely declined.
I was looking at that cigarette machine. So these are the brands in there. You had Cool, Newport, which are both menthol, Benson and Hedges. Remember those? Are they still around?
They are a thing. They still exist.
And I saw Paul Mall in there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Did you guys see what the price was?
2 something, right?
I think it was like $249.
Is that good price for 92?
To be clear, that's $249 in New York.
Yeah, true.
Ooh, yes. Because I never noted those machines. I think it was like usually an even $2 or like a $3 thing.
Right.
I remember getting cigarettes out of those where you pull the the little slot, and like it came out with a pack of matches
You
too.
get the matches with it. Yeah.
You're paying close to $20 a pack now in New York.
Wow.
I'm saying in the city, like in Manhattan, like one of those the hot dog vendors or whatever, the guys that are. That's by far and away the most expensive place to get it.
Right.
Is some street stand. Yeah, you're looking at close to $20.
That's big money.
Yeah, we
ridiculous.
I was just in New York this weekend and in Manhattan and everything, and we stayed overnight. The price for anything now in New York, like you said, is insane. I don't even know how people. You're talking like a drink is like $16 for like a drink.
That's crazy.
Like a Captain and Coke or something like that.
I'll stay here.
Yeah,
I'm good with it.
it's a lot slower, easier living.
I also wanted to talk about Q Sports, some of the stuff. I like that 49ers bucket hat. That was cool. A lot of people wearing 49ers.
Yeah, 49ers stuff. I saw that. Yeah.
And this is East Coast, but that, it was always kind of like that. Like, but when I was in high school, you'd wear whatever team. If it was just cool gear, you didn't really care.
Well, San Francisco was like on top of the world at that time too.
Yeah,
weren't they?
92, they were, I guess they were still winning.
Steve Young.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were winning championships.
When Ricky Walters was there, that was 94, and they won the Super Bowl. I think that year was Steve Young. I think 92, we were still in the Cowboys era, but I could be wrong.
Could have been.
Yeah. Also, the pump sneakers. He had the pumps.
Yes, he's
switching
getting
out his
ready.
gear and stuff like that.
Oh,
yeah. So
Wait, we were talking about San Francisco, and I had something to say.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay.
about San Fran, about the gear.
No, but it wasn't starter stuff yet, though.
Oh, Starter was out by then.
Yeah.
I think in the 90s.
Oh yeah. Everybody was looking for the Charlotte Hornets.
Yes.
Everybody wanted that one.
Mhm.
Colorado Rockies was a big one.
Colorado Rockies was huge.
You had that, right? You had a Rockies.
I had a Rockies one, yeah.
You also had a pair of Reebok pumps.
Yes, I did. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Thank you, Zap.
You're welcome.
I want to do. I'm looking for a picture of me with. I have a Def Leppard Hysteria painter's hat
Yeah.
with a white T-shirt with the cut off arms,
Right.
cut off jean shorts, and my Reebok pumps.
Oh,
Nice.
So
that'd be awesome.
yeah, that picture does exist with my 80s like Sally Jesse Raphael glasses.
glasses
He's
on.
like so big on my face.
Oh, I need that picture in my
I will.
life.
I will look for that picture.
Please.
Yes, it's out there. It is out
That's
there.
so great.
I know I had a Georgia Tech starter. I had a UNLV one at one point. I had a UNLV like leather type jacket. I don't think it was a starter. But yeah, starter was it, man. That was and they're back now.
Your dad had that one leather UNLV jacket.
That's what I was talking
probably
about.
worth like $700 today.
They were like the hot team that year in college basketball.
Tarkanian.
Yeah. North Carolina gear was hot too.
Oh, and yeah, because of the
Yeah.
colors were cool.
Mhm.
But yeah, that UNLV jacket was prime, man.
Mm-hmm.
Back at Eric's house, the four have breakfast and find that Blizzard, the guy who was robbing the local bar, was shot and killed by police at the scene. A now motivated Bishop encourages his friends to turn to a life of crime as a means of making something of themselves.
Yeah. So that was messed up. They're at Eric's house,
Right.
Steele's house. He makes breakfast for him. He's adds salt, more salt, doing whatever.
40.
And then they're watching the telly, and there it is. I mean, dude they were just there minutes earlier, and now dude's dead.
Looks like our TV over here. Next to Zap.
Exactly.
You can't see that yet,
Exactly.
but eventually you will.
How did Steele get the nickname Steele? Is it because he was like a chubby kid or making fun of him? Or
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder about that.
yeah, because they never really got to why. Like, you don't look like a dude like Yo Steele.
It's not like he's muscles or anything.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think
Man
it's
of
like
Steel.
it was like like kind of making fun of him. I think I don't know.
But I like they're watching that old school James Cagney. I think it was like an old gangster flick.
Yeah.
He's like, "Shut up, man! I'm watching this."
Yeah.
That
he was
seems
into it.
that seems so weird to me that these guys are watching old black and white like movies from the 50s.
Like gangster stuff.
Yeah.
But it was gangster stuff, and I think also that like you probably didn't have that many channels in
True.
you know.
Yeah, if he's
So
over
these
there,
are things that they probably see that like we do Home Alone now. Like that probably is run on reruns
just constantly.
on like on one of the 4 channels that they have.
I also noticed on the I watched this on Max, so I was streaming it. The Sega 8-bit system.
Yeah.
They had I saw one of the controllers up there.
The Sega Master System.
Is that what it was called? Yeah. Everybody I knew had Nintendo. I knew people that had Genesis.
I knew one kid coming up that had the Sega Master System, and it was the same as Nintendo, except all black and lesser known games.
Yeah.
But there was a couple of games on there that I absolutely adored playing. One of them was Herzog's Way.
Did they have Altered Beast on the original?
Yes.
Okay, that was the one that I remember Genesis launched with that.
Correct.
Altered Beast. But yeah, like Sega, like till Genesis came out, I don't know like how much market share they had, but I thought that was cool. I noticed the controller right away.
Yep.
Now
I used to, fun fact, I would buy so I loved the feel of the Nintendo controllers.
Mm-hmm.
And I also had a Commodore 64 computer.
Right.
The port for the Sega Master System controllers matched the port for Commodore 64.
Mm-hmm.
It was also the same port used in Atari 2600.
Oh, so you could
controllers.
interchange them and stuff?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I would consistently, I went through controllers, man. I mean, I went through them. I would just buy the Sega Master System ones and use on the
those.
Commodore. Yep.
You like the feel of them.
Was that like an Xbox, PlayStation thing today? Was like the Nintendo, Sega Sega came out with who was the little guy that rolled around?
Oh, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic. Was that why people wanted to get to like the Sega?
Yeah, so the key, I think, with any console is to get a franchise that is exclusive, and then people have to buy your console. So, with Nintendo, I mean, Super Mario, nobody else could make that, but that kind of launched with it. Sega had Sonic. That was later on the Genesis. I'm trying to think, like, Atari, if they ever really had
no.
They were just kind of one of the first, I guess, to market.
Correct.
Yeah,
Atari was
Atari,
just, there was nothing specific to Atari, but they had
Pitfall,
a lot of shit. Well, that's fair, but I mean, what other consoles were there other than Atari?
Right, yeah. They were actually probably like one of the main. I know there was a couple of like ColecoVision, I guess.
Sure.
Remember there was TurboGrafx 16?
Yeah.
I had one of those.
Absolutely. TurboGrafx 16 was banging.
Yeah, TurboGrafx 16.
Way ahead of their time, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
They had what was great, and I mean ideal about that, they had the home system, but they also had
mobile.
Correct.
Yeah.
They
before
were
Game Boy.
Way before Game Boy. And it was color, and it was banging.
Wow.
The cartridges were interchangeable. You could take it out of the one you were playing at home and put it in your little handheld and walk around with it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Game Boy wasn't even color.
Hell no.
No, Game Boy was
beat-ass Game Boy.
But you get like the big screen, like if you're like on your trip at night in the car. No, it had like that screen that you could like buy to flip over top and had like a little light on it, and it magnified the regular screen.
That was cool. I remember that. Yeah. For the game. Now I remember getting a Game Boy. That was cool. Tetris and that was only the main.
The Mario Brothers was.
There was a Mario Brothers on there. Yeah.
So after this little breakfast rendezvous, Quincy leaves and he goes to his girlfriend, Yolanda. Yolanda.
Yeah.
And that's when we meet not only Yolanda, but I guess she's
her sugar daddy.
Yeah, she's in the process of divorcing her husband or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that dude looked like way older.
So they were already splitting. It's not like Quincy was the home wrecker.
No. We don't know that, I guess, but I kind of looked at that and was like, well, maybe because she's a nurse, I wonder if like that dude was kind of like her sugar daddy. Maybe she was like with him.
So you're saying it wasn't her husband then?
I mean, they were definitely married because they were getting divorced.
For sure.
But I'm wondering if like she maybe married him because she's a lot younger. I would gauge her age at like late 20s because she was definitely older. He was 17, Q. So that's kind of statutory rape.
No, it's 17's legal.
That's true. In New York, we found that out.
17's
You
legal.
are right.
Look, Kip Winger was right all along.
Right. We found that out on the Amy Fisher.
That's right. Age of consent.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he can sing about 17. That's why they can't because in the song it'd be like, she's only Daddy says she's too young. They would be able to sing
edit it out.
She's only Daddy says
they'd have to overdub it. 19.
She's only 19 or 18. No, 18 is an adult anywhere. But 17 is the age of consent in most states.
But anyway, I got the vibe that she was kind of like, probably got with this guy when she was like younger and was like, I'm done with this guy. I need somebody young and exciting. But
that makes sense.
Just seems odd. Now, we know a guy that I know we went to high school with that I remember when we were like seniors, he was dating like a 26-year-old.
Dang.
I mean, the guy would get served at bars.
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff. He looked like he was 26.
Yep.
But to be that age and to be with like a woman.
I thought you were talking about our coaching staff.
That was the other way around.
Yeah, there's that.
There was some of that, I'm sure. But I'm talking about.
Scandalous.
If you're a 17-year-old boy and you're hooking up with like somebody 26.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Dude, I hear what you're saying. Like that is a woman.
Mm-hmm.
That's an adult woman.
Mm-hmm.
Grown-ass woman.
Yeah. I mean, props to him for pulling that off. But yeah, she was hot, and that's the En Vogue girl.
Already starting to sag.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that elasticity goes after a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whatever. So let's see what happened next. So Quincy's hanging with his girlfriend, slapping it after the husband gets kicked out.
Yeah.
Later on, Radio Raheem stops him.
That's right.
And says, "Hey man, look, we got a meeting here. We got to get together." But I mean, doesn't he have an audition the next day?
Yeah, his DJ.
His DJ thing. That's right. So
Yeah.
I guess he's conflicted.
Mm.
They end up pushing that meeting though.
Yep.
Like he makes it to the meeting.
Yeah.
Well, he has to. Those are his homies.
Mm.
Gotta
His
get
crew,
there.
man.
Crew. Yeah. You ever see those crew shirts?
Like crew? When
Are you talking the rowing team?
Not the rowing team. No, there's an actual shirt that has crew, and it has the 4 guys from Juice.
Oh, wow. I didn't know.
It's a
I
cool
didn't see
shirt.
that.
The next day, Quincy's the first one in line for the audition, and he nails it. Just when everything is looking great for Quincy, it turns out his friends have agreed upon a plan to rob a local convenience store.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the meeting.
Yeah, that's what they have to meet about.
That was the meeting. She was mentioned in the cast, so shout out to Queen Latifah,
Yeah.
who was the judge. Gave him mad props
Yeah, she was
for his DJ skills.
giving that one guy a hard time. I think that guy was like, they said they were calling him Flex. I was thinking Funkmaster
Master.
Flex, but that's not who it was. It's some other guy.
Yeah, that guy's actual name is Flex Alexander.
Yeah, Flex Alexander. And I guess he is like a real life DJ.
Word.
Yeah, so, but she was like giving him a hard time and telling him you suck and you know, blah, blah, blah.
The robbery part in this, I don't know why like these guys are planning, because Bishop and who was the other one? Not Q, not Steele.
Raheem.
Raheem. Yeah, why, they were like so into it, and it doesn't seem like they were pretty much regular middle class city kids.
Yeah, I didn't really get why they would want to, but they're all friends. So it's like peer pressure. I guess when you're that age, you're just kind of like, I guess I'll just go along with it. Now, I had friends like that, not on this level, but they would do dumb shit and you just get caught up in it because you're with them. Now, there'd be times where I'm like, yo, I'm going to head out or whatever and try not to be involved. This is on another level when you're talking about like robbery,
armed robbery,
and
yeah,
stuff like that.
No, but I remember growing up, like it was kind of thrilling to get with a group of friends, kind of like this, honestly, and go into like stores or during Christmas time or even regular, like trying to steal CDs or tapes. Because kids like our age, I mean, we weren't able to really get jobs yet. You'd be like, 14, 15, starting to get jobs at 15. I think my first job was 15. But yeah, like that was something that kids, who had stuff, we were like, middle class,
just for the thrill of it.
yeah, for the thrill, just to see what you could get away with.
That is a thing. It's for sure a thing. I think Matt, I mean, I'm with you. Shit. In fact, I think I was with you.
You were with
Yeah.
me a lot of the times. Yes.
So in addition to that, though, with specificity to this movie, what I think started it all was, Bishop sees, what's his name get, the guy that held up the bar. He was shot and killed by the police. And so that motivates Bishop, AKA Tupac Shakur, like, hey man, life's short. You never know when you're going to go. You really got to make a mark for yourself. We're never going to get out of this hood, or we're never going to amount to anything or whatever. We got to make it while we can make it.
Right.
He was just really, really motivated. And by his motivation, he's just now pressuring all the other 3 other guys like, hey man, let's do this. Are you in? Are you in? Are you in? He was just, if any one of this group was the leader, it was him.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
You're thinking of like, you're saying that's kind of like the Juice thing, like something to be like, yeah, we held that store up, like to tell like the Puerto Rican gang or whatever.
That's right.
Those guys, yeah, we held them up. That was us.
That's right.
So
and not just the
strike
Puerto
fear.
Rican gang, the Puerto Rican guy that owns that bodega.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're watching Rodimes down there on the street, roughing people up, doing shit. And they're just kind of like, yeah.
And they got to take it.
And that's the thing. I would imagine now, I grew up in the city, but not like this. But when you live in an area like that, you're going to be running into these people every day. So if you're like getting roughed up or having, confrontation all the time, like the only way you're ever going to get respect is to either, fight back.
You got to throw down.
Or prove to them like, look, like,
We're just as bad
as you.
are.
Like
Yeah.
you might end up,
No, like Michael Jackson bad.
Right.
Mhm.
Because it's like you're going to just keep running into these same people all the time. So
You ain't bad. You ain't nothing.
Yeah,
you
right.
ain't nothing.
it'd be better if they would just dance it off, but that's not how it's going to go down in
Quick-
this movie.
Quick side note. I know nothing's ever quick, but in New York, we went to this place. It was called 8-Bit, and they like made smash burgers and stuff, but they had video game systems that you could just, and it was any game that you wanted. So I was playing Michael Jackson Moonwalker.
Nice.
Because that was Sega, I believe.
Well, this movie did make me kind of yearn for those days of the arcade.
Sure.
And like, you know, I could see like skipping school to go to the arcade. That would be, back in the day, that would have been the thing to do. I mean, they did have the Sega at home, but you know, the stand-up arcades at the time, there was a difference. Now you can get those graphics at home and all that. But back then, those games, like you go to an arcade, like the games were way better.
And it meant something. Like that was something. I remember going to the East Mall with my pap. He used to give me a couple $2 to go to the arcade while he sat there with his friends and drank coffee.
I mean, I remember like Double Dragon came out on NES, and you're expecting it to look like the arcade.
Oh, dude, what a letdown every time.
Right.
I mean, every time.
You're like, oh, it's gonna look just nope, it's not.
Nope. You just got ripped the fuck off.
For sure.
Speaking of ripping off, note Quincy, the aspiring DJ, wants nothing to do with this planned robbery. Nothing.
He got other things in life.
That's right. He's been working hard on this DJ stuff.
Right.
Well, that night, Quincy squares off against the reigning champion DJ and wins, lo and behold.
Nice.
He does
nice.
Yeah, like he's all crazy.
Which is, so now we see the dichotomy in this movie of this guy is torn between, man, I got this, you know, this, I'm working my way up the chain here. My aspirations of being a DJ are going to take off. You know, they're really working out, but I got these friends, man. Like, how do I say no to my friends, man? They want to go do this robbery. What am I going to do?
Yeah, that's why he goes for it.
He does.
Yeah.
He couldn't take the pressure, man.
He ended up giving in.
And those friends use that as like an alibi too. Like, hey, we can say we were there. We'll show up, and it's all going to work out perfectly. So,
and they get that crew together too. They all did it together.
It's one for all
Corroboration.
For all. Yeah. So these cats get together and they rob the store. Bishop shoots the owner, Fernando Quiles, Fernando Quiles, in the head, killing him. Things turn from bad to worse when Raheem attempts to take the gun from Bishop, and then Bishop shoots him because they get in that confrontation.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was just an accident.
No,
like they were fighting over the gun and the gun went off.
Nah, he was like, you know, what are you doing? Give me like.
There was a struggle, I think, but he shot him.
He stood back.
It was definitely like, yeah,
take that,
because his friends are sitting there like, what the hell? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's things are definitely getting bad. I mean, Bishop he's
not Michael Jackson bad now. This is like real bad.
This is real bad.
This is truth definition in the
Bible.
In the Bible, bad. Yeah. So Bishop's now killed 2 people in one night, and he's threatening to kill the other 2 if they, you know, basically like you better keep your mouth shut or I'll come and kill you too.
Right. It's just that now you've seen it happen. You know that like this guy has no fear of killing. There's no remorse.
No. Alas, so he goes back. So what? Quincy goes back to the
because he was doing his DJ. He left.
He was doing the DJ. Part. He cut after his first round. Then he comes back, but I guess his ability to continue to participate was cut short when the police come in to actually just take him out of there.
Yeah, like hey, have you seen this person? Or yeah.
See, I'm the police there. Like they can't catch a bunch of kids at an arcade. But like, you know, a half hour after like a murder, like they're all on it. They're like, oh, we know who did it.
Yeah.
Let me in here right now.
I can't say the believability of that was just not there. They're not working that quickly.
This was the only part of the movie that I was kind of like, I had to look past. Like one of those things where you're just like,
yeah.
Because that thing, that would have took weeks, months maybe.
Shit, yeah.
To even,
narrow it down.
To narrow that down.
Well, I guess since it was their friend, and I'm sure like, they were like, these are the people that he hangs out with, that they were like, we'll go talk to them first. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's possible, but that was really quick to happen.
How would they have known that it was their friend? And how did they notice that? You know,
True.
Oh, well.
I did like the questioning part though. Like, I don't know how I would do with that either. Like
the interrogation?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They're just in their face. And like, you know, the one guy's like, nah, man, I'm cool. And then Steele was all like, they're like, why are you crying?
Yeah,
why are you crying? Like, oh man, Steele's going to crack. But he didn't. None of them did.
No. Steele was a mess. And then there's Bishop that's just laughing and
he doesn't care.
He's laughing along with the police are making jokes.
Yeah.
See, and that's the thing too, I think, for like police is they would look at, you know, Bishop's character like, this guy didn't do it. Like, you know.
The guy's got an Uzi around his neck. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, I'd be like, wait a minute.
This could be a suspect.
I was thinking about that gold chain with the Uzi. Like
Why don't I have one of those?
Well, I was thinking about like if we pull that off, but I would have had like a golf
Well,
club.
don't worry, Zap. Christmas is coming.
Nice. Nice.
We're gonna.
I was thinking like what would we have worn? Like gold chain. I was thinking like golf club or like tennis racket or like what would you wear? You know what I'm saying? A vacuum.
Well, I had a
vacuum.
Actually, when we were in school, like there's a couple gold chains, but I didn't see like really any
things hanging off.
Yeah, we didn't really have like charms.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What
Yeah.
kind of charm would you put on it?
Like Pandora wasn't big then, I guess.
No.
I did have we did have a friend of ours that wore his girlfriend's initial
on
the
there.
chain.
Oh, Jesus
I
Christ.
was like, oh, come on, man.
But I mean, like Zap, you could have put like a guitar because you played instrument.
Yep.
You know, like I'm trying to think what I could have even put on mine. I didn't play golf back then.
I could have put a guitar or an accordion. Why wouldn't I have
Why
the
didn't you put an accordion?
That would have been badass.
Or like I don't know, like a big like cross or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, cross you could do, but I'm just trying to think of like something you're into. When I was like, I don't know what I would.
Besides the Lord.
I would have had.
Besides the Lord,
I would have had like a book.
a book.
Yeah, I would have had like a book.
Maybe a controller, Nintendo controller or something. I
That'd
don't
have
know.
been awesome.
I don't know. I got to think
that's
about
cool.
that one.
Yeah. Come back to us on that. Days later, at Raheem's wake, everyone's there, including Bishop.
So that was creepy as shit.
Yeah, he's a sick dude.
I mean,
that's what you're saying. He lost his shit there.
I mean, they were, I think, kind of like, I don't know if they were ducking him at this point, but I know from this point after, they sure as hell were.
Yeah, I think everybody, they were like trying to stay away from him. The rest of the crew were like, this guy's nuts.
Yeah, and it was
Just Q and Steele. Yeah, Q and Steele.
Yeah, they were the last two, and then of course, I mean, it was, I don't know, obviously a slap for Bishop to go to Raheem's mother and say that, oh man, no, we're going to find his killer.
Him,
yeah, we're going to.
Yeah, when we find him,
I mean, just think about
street
like that.
justice.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. But think about like the conundrum there of like the fear. Like you don't want to like get in trouble yourself, but your friend just killed your other friend, and now you're an accomplice. You feel, but then you see this guy like hugging the family.
well, it wasn't the friend. They would have went, I think, to the police with the friend. It was the murder at the store.
Well, it was the friend murder too. I'm saying,
Yeah.
Like I'm just saying, like you're stuck because it's like I'm screwed. Damned if I do, damned if I don't.
Yeah.
Like if I tell somebody, he's gonna kill me. If I don't tell somebody, you just don't.
I mean, it's hard to wrap your head around. Like if one of our friends would do something and came to you and said, "Look, man,
Especially at that age, like
Yeah.
how you would handle it.
How you
Are
would
mature
handle it.
enough to like, no, I don't know.
I think you probably just like let it go. Be like, hey, man, I didn't do it, so I'm not. I don't know.
Look the other way. Yeah.
Bishop may or may not have gone off the rails, now threatening his friends with death if they say anything.
So this is where it is. This is where these guys are now truly avoiding this guy like the plague, right?
Oh, yeah.
So days go by. I mean, days. I mean, there was a point at which I think there was a scene. Bishop was down on the street yelling up, and
Yo, Q, where you at?
yeah, and Q was up in his bedroom, and his little brother or somebody was there. He's like, "Hey, look, man, I'm not here. I'm not answering.
Just tell him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he kind of threatens his little brother, like not to
Yeah,
talk
don't
to
say
him.
anything,
Don't
like-
say anything to Bishop. Don't.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You like that stereo over there? It's yours. Just don't say anything.
That's
He was
right.
telling his brother.
And so now, then it becomes almost I don't know, the Scream or pick the horror movie.
Yeah, where he's popping up everywhere.
Yeah, and so I guess
It's like people are running
Michael
away
Myers.
and he's still walking.
dude, it gets real when Q's at his locker. He shuts the locker door and
And he's
boom.
right there.
Yeah, he's right there. That's
Yeah,
scary.
It
Just a
is
bit.
scary.
So during an altercation with Rodimus, Bishop sees Quincy and Eric, who flee instead of helping him. Bishop, not but minutes later, shoots and kills Rodimus.
Yeah.
That was kind of like a part two where I think Q and Steele knew, or Q knew if he left him there, and when Bishop looked right at him, he knew that was trouble. Like he knew
Yeah.
that was kind of it.
And maybe he thought those guys would take care of it for him. When he had that knife up his nose, man, I was flinching. I couldn't imagine.
Oh yeah,
my God.
that's nasty.
Ugh. Yeah, that was giving me like
I would have sneezed.
anxiety.
I would have like sneezed.
So Matt, what you're saying, I think, is that so the Eric and Q look over at Bishop, and Bishop sees them back.
Yeah,
And-
it's
and so-
mostly Q. Yeah, he looks right at Bishop when Rodimus has the knife to him, and he kind of turns his back and walks away.
And so at that point, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
This is where Quincy, it's known by both sides that they're no longer friends.
We bailed you out so many times and no more. Yeah.
And then like Bishop's so trigger happy now, he just follows Rodimus and shoots him two, three times, like pop, pop, pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, the police come. He's about to grab the gun right before the police show up. and start firing, but then he gets broken up and he chased him down. But I was thinking about that, like how he always counts on his friends to bail him out. And I had a friend like that growing up. It was like the smallest kid that we hung out with, but he had the biggest mouth. He was a smart ass, and he would just always like, whether it be at Pembroke Pool.
Was this a grade school then?
This is like when I'm like 10, 11, 12,
Okay.
whatever. We'd be out riding bikes, and the kid just had a mouth on him. And he would always just talk shit because there's like 5 of us there. And he knows that like nothing's going to happen because there's like 5 of us there. You know what I mean? And like, he has his friends with him and stuff. But he was just always, crew, exactly. But there's always that kid that has a smart mouth.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I'm sure you've had friends like that.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
And that's kind of how Tupac reminded me in this movie. He would like, as soon as he see his friends coming, he would start talking shit because he knows like, you know, they'll break it up.
Well, it's not long after this scene where we see Matt's mom in her cameo.
Yeah, I love this scene.
Rose.
where Quincy gets the gun. Was that in the refrigerator?
Mm-hmm.
That was like it reminded me like a speakeasy or something.
Oh shit, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
but she grabs the gun like they're in like a fridge or so. Yeah.
Q goes up and like there's like a little door, like inside the door. It pops open and he goes. And there's like people playing cards and drinking and shit.
So
Absolutely.
what did my mom do like that? The cops and everybody leave her alone. Like
Sweets.
Yeah.
That was her name, Sweets.
What did she do?
She pays them off.
Yeah, exactly.
must
So I
be.
mean, like this lady had juice because she's just sitting down
She
doing
had
her
all
own
the
thing.
juice.
Yeah.
Your mom had the juice, man. Dude, I was laughing so hard.
No,
when
because
saw
I
it.
looked over and I still remember that like plain as day. And Dave's just sitting there cracking up. He's like, dude. It's like that lady looks just like your mom.
But even now watching it, I like caught it
Yeah,
right
like-
away. I'm like, yeah, this is so funny. But I mean, at least it's a cool character. Like your mom's cool.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna start
yeah.
telling her to like put those sunglasses on and stuff.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. At least it's not some homeless lady or some
No.
shit, like, or a crazy lady feeding birds in the park.
Yeah.
Like this is a arms dealer.
What would have been better? Like, I love when you impersonate your mom if she talked like that.
What do you mean?
Like, you know, how when you talk like, your
Oh,
mom,
Matthew.
yeah, let me get that gun. Yeah.
Here, take the gun, Q.
Yeah. I love
my
that.
mom doesn't sound like that. That's just how
Nah.
she sounds to me
Nah.
in my mind.
I remember how she sounded in high school.
Oh, Matthew.
Yeah.
Oh, Matthew. Your friends aren't going out this late. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Mom,
Not without your keys, you're not.
Take your keys away.
so anyway,
Oh, God.
what's going on with Quincy?
Well, Quincy is so afraid at this point that he tells Yolanda
Yolanda.
that he knows the killer's identity.
Man, Quincy's a bitch.
Mm.
All that pillow talk.
He's
Like,
scared,
baby,
dude.
Baby, you
Yeah.
so fine. Let me tell you something.
I know who killed.
I know
who killed Quiles and
everybody.
Raheem.
Yeah.
He just let all that stress out.
Radio Raheem.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he
He
did.
just got done.
That's the pillow talk,
That's
man.
at least
I get
the
you every
demons.
time.
I would say that's when you're most honest after you bust a nut. You know what I mean?
Dang.
Think about, don't you think?
This is a kid-friendly podcast. You can't say things like "bust a nut."
Yeah, after the nuts busted, you get those cozy warms.
Yeah,
Just
you're like, I got to tell you something.
here, hold on, come here.
See, I just go out and have a cigarette and I'm good. I don't need to say shit.
You don't need to talk.
No, I'm good.
Come here, baby. Let me rub your hair and talk to you. You're just so beautiful.
Yeah, right.
Well, fearful of disloyalty, Bishop shoots Eric and begins to plant false stories about Quincy with the locals at the arcade.
Right.
He gives the news to Trip because he knows Trip tells the
He's got-
neighborhood.
yeah,
in
he's
2
like-
seconds.
That's exactly how it went down. You tell the main man in charge of any and all gossip at the biggest hangout in the neighborhood.
That's where everybody's at. Yeah.
Oh, did you see the sign that he had on the paper plate on his window
No, what is that?
in Trip's place?
Mm-mm.
It had Lucy's 25 cents.
Oh, nice.
Oh shit.
And
Siggy's.
people might not know what Lucy's are
Oh, yeah.
in radio world.
They're still a thing, by the way.
Mm.
They still absolutely exist.
You can buy Lucy's and
Shit, yeah.
Oh,
And
I thought that was illegal, like by the big tobacco company.
Sure, whatever.
By Big Tobacco.
Any bodega in the world is selling Lucy's. I promise.
Mm.
Lucy or Lucy's? Lucy's.
Lucy's. They are loose.
Yes.
Mm. Single cigarettes for our listeners.
Eric survives Bishop's attack and is whisked away to the hospital.
So he was shot, but magically he wasn't
survived,
killed. He
yeah.
survived. And that's what, Yolanda
Mm-hmm.
works at the hospital,
She was a nurse there. Yeah.
sees Eric, and he spills it to her, right? He says it, what's his name is like Bishop is the he shot me. He shot the other two. It's all Bishop, right?
You know what saved him is that thick red and black lumberjack coat. I mean, that thing was
the red and
thick.
black lumberjack to match.
I mean, I'm sure that absorbed a lot of the bullet.
Plus his heaviness.
He was a big
his fat layer.
Yeah.
Because I was like, the dude was that close to him, and to shoot him like that, I was like, oh, he's dead. But nah, he survived. Like you said, he had the thick jacket on and
The thick fat.
the thick fat. He was like a whale.
Yeah, it was enough.
Unfortunately for Quincy, though, so Quincy's walking around just trying to avoid Bishop, trying to do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I guess so he split from Yolanda's house. Yolanda, when she had to go to work, he left, and then he arrives at the scene.
Like, what's going on over here?
Yeah, what's going on? And then everybody's just giving him the stink eye.
They know because the word's already
the
around.
word's out around town.
That's
Trial by his peers before he was even found guilty.
Mm-hmm.
So Quincy learns from Tripp that Bishop has pinned all of the recent killings on him and plans to meet him and settle everything. Meanwhile, Eric, now in the emergency room, reveals to Yolanda that Bishop is the actual killer.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it was. I jumped the gun on that. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
No, that's all right.
Yeah. No, did you see the gun too that he bought for my mom?
What kind of gun was
It was
it?
like a little 22.
For real.
Yeah. It's like a $12 gun.
I'm still laughing. Yo, did you see? Yo, did you see the gun he bought from my
My
mom?
mom.
That's great.
No,
That's
like
great.
yeah, like
Are you telling me that I called that back then in '92?
What do you
Said it
mean?
was your mom? Looked like your mom back then, or?
that was actually my mom. I don't know why you make fun of my.
Well, no, I'm saying that I caught that back then.
No, because it looked like my mom then and now.
But I didn't remember that I said it back then. But I guess your mom would have looked the same pretty much.
What, like a little Spanish woman arms dealer.
No, but like that look with the glasses and stuff.
Well, that's what. Yeah, because those were the big glasses in the early '90s.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I don't remember that I said that, but that was a good one.
So
I'm glad I caught. I'm glad I caught that.
That was
So Matt, your
That's
mom,
timeless.
Your mom
Timeless.
gave Quincy that gun, right?
Mhm.
He didn't. She said no charge. It was, no,
it was no charge because she knew his mom.
that's right.
And she knew he was like a good kid, so something that he got the gun for was something that was.
It's like if I'd have walked in, she'd have said, "Oh, look, I know Rita. Look,
yeah. She's like, Rita's a good woman.
this is for you.
Yeah, here.
Since I know your mom."
Just
Right.
throw it in the river when you're done with it.
Well, of course, which he does.
Yeah.
So I found that to be quite, I don't know, like a slap. Like she gave him this gun.
Oh, my mom was definitely pissed.
for nothing,
Yeah,
and then he
used
just
it.
throws it in the river.
Didn't even use it. Yeah.
Dang, bury it, give it to somebody else. Hell, give it back.
Right,
Or sell it. He wanted money so bad the first time around. Just sell the
Right.
gun.
Don't throw it in the goddamn river.
That's a waste.
Mm-hmm.
How many guns do you think are actually in
Many.
like the river?
Many.
I'm sure a lot.
Like if they
yeah.
would just dredge in like big cities or even around here, you know
Hundreds, if not thousands.
what I mean? Okay.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And why the river? Like just because it's sitting wherever you threw it. Like why don't they just go by like
Well, does it flow though? It might flow with the river and
It's not going to flow, but
heavy.
it's going to
It's
get
gonna
covered. It's
sit.
going to get covered with sediment and
I
shit.
got you.
yeah.
And who goes into the middle of the fucking river in a
Nobody.
big city?
No.
I'd imagine that's the East River, and I heard that one's pretty dirty and stinky. And
Whatever the one is that they swum in Seinfeld, whatever that was where you had the mattress
isn't
or
that
something.
the East River?
The
Yeah.
Hudson?
The Hudson, yeah.
Maybe it could be the Hudson too. Yeah.
One of those. I wouldn't swim in either of them.
I'll have to ask Brooklyn Brian about that. Speaking of Brooklyn Brian, I told him we're doing this movie. Now, he grew up in New York and Brooklyn. And
Hey, yo, I like this movie.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
he
a very
told me
nice
that.
movie.
well, he told me, he was at Bloomsburg University when this movie came out. And they didn't have it anywhere up there. But he wanted to see it in the worst way.
So he's a little older than us?
He's, Brian.
50-something, 54.
He's probably like 52, maybe
Okay,
51.
okay.
Not much older, but he was in college at the time. They drove down here to Harrisburg to the Point Mall
Jesus
to
Christ.
see Juice. It was either here or like Wilkes-Barre, I guess, from where he was at.
Yeah, this guy sounds all right. I like this guy.
Yeah, he came down. He said he saw it down here in Harrisburg, but because they weren't playing it in Bloomsburg anywhere. So yeah, shout out to Brian.
Quincy meets Bishop in the alley after a chase. They end up running into a house party where Quincy disarms Bishop.
Right.
Yeah, Cypress Hill.
So
Oh.
what was that? What was that Cypress Hill
How
track that
I
was
could
playing?
just kill a man.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's here is something you can't understand. I want to kill a man.
Yeah, Cypress Hill is funny. Like when they came out, that was like their first single that came out,
Yeah.
and then their Cypress Hill. I think it was a self-titled album that came out that same year. When I first heard Cypress Hill, and for years I figured they were an East Coast group. but they're actually from L.A.
That's surprising because I too thought they were an East Coast group.
Yeah, like just the whole vibe of the music and everything. I just always assumed they're from New York City, but they're not.
Yeah, even like their rhythms, their beats are very very East Coast.
Right. But I never forget too. Like my dad never really commented much on what I listened to. Like he'd come down, I'd have stuff playing in the basement. My bedroom was in the basement. But I remember when I first got this How I Could Just Kill a Man, the single, and I was playing it. He's like, what kind of music? Why would you listen to something like saying I'm going to kill a man and this and that? And he was like, all like bent out of shape. And I'm like, Dad, relax. It's like a song. Like it's just a rap song. But he never really would ever say much about what I listened to or, I mean, the guy didn't really care much about what I would watch or listen to in general. But for some reason, that song, I just vividly remember him saying, why would you listen to a song like that? You know, he was into Motown and different stuff like that.
Yeah, it's still pretty much like the same samples on a lot of stuff, like Motown samples. And
I remember like when before I got my license and I would ride around with him, I'd pop in a tape like Public Enemy or something. And he would like the beat.
Yeah, my dad liked Public
Enemy.
The
music, but like the rap, he never really, I mean, he liked some of it, I guess. But he was all about, like, he would actually listen to the lyrics and the message and be like, whoa, you want to listen to that? Like, you know, I don't know. I just always remember that song made me think about that. But that's the song that was on there. Now, Cypress Hill had a different song on the actual soundtrack.
Correct. So that's why I had asked, because I looked at the soundtrack listing and that song was not listed on the soundtrack.
No, it's not.
Which is a shame because the one that was actually in the movie, that's their masterpiece. It's a great track.
I would say it's probably their best song.
Well, you say like the house party they were at here. I remember being at house parties like us growing up. Like I mean, Cypress Hill was bumping in a lot of places.
Sure.
Yeah, that second album that they came out with was all about weed smoke and all that. Black Sunday, I think it was called.
Yep.
And it was just all around. Like that's when you really found out they were all about the weed and all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't drink beer because the bud makes me wiser.
That's it, man.
Yeah, these guys got high all the time.
Yep.
So back in our story here, Quincy chases Bishop to a rooftop. After a scuffle, Bishop falls from the rooftop, slipping out of Quincy's grip. The last scene, we see that of a flashback to our four friends, the Wrecking Crew.
Yo, you got the juice now, man.
That's what he told him.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that he wanted it, though.
What, the Wrecking Crew? Wasn't that a band? A group?
The Wrecking Crew?
Yeah. Wasn't the Wrecking Crew a group?
I don't know. I don't remember a Wrecking Crew. I mean, it sounds familiar.
There was was it the New Crew?
New Crew?
Clue.
No, Clue was
Clue
with that
Crew?
little blue dog.
So the Clue Crew was actually a group of Jeopardy that was involved with Jeopardy.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, they went across the world. Like if you see like if you're watching Jeopardy, sometimes they do a video and they show like a clip of somebody standing someplace and next to this volcano. Volcano. Next to this volcano. out of this volcano will spew this red hot liquid, and of course the answer, what is lava? So
right.
This Clue Crew would go all around the world. They ended up going to all 7 continents, and did those videos for questions.
Nice.
Fun fact.
Yeah, but I don't know about a Wrecking Crew. Did you find something on that?
No, I can't get like anybody got their phone on them? It's called something Wrecking Crew. I'm pretty sure it was like an 80s.
I thought these guys were known in the movie as the Wrecking Crew.
Yeah, but I thought there was a actual band
there is a musical band, the Wrecking Crew, but that's nothing to do with
no rap or anything like
rap.
that.
The Wrecking Crew was from the 80s.
Looking at this picture,
yeah, that's from back in the 80s.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's 80s.
Yeah, man.
I don't know.
That's like John Denver,
Right.
City by the Bay.
It might be. I guess that's pretty much it for the story. So I guess it's time for the fun facts.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So we just saw the ending, or just heard about the ending of this movie. Fun fact, in case you didn't know, there was an alternate ending to this movie.
Oh, for real?
Oh, for real.
Uh-oh.
Instead of slipping out of Quincy's hand, Bishop had actually let go.
Oh.
It's like, I know that it's to get back to, man, I'm in this hard, fast lifestyle. I can't do it anymore. The cops are after me now. Like, I've killed these people. I know it's going to come out that it was me. I quit and
just let go.
Mm.
You actually don't see him die. He just falls into darkness, though.
True.
So do we know for sure that he died? Or,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He could have landed on like a
He's like Michael Myers, like Zap was saying, like Halloween.
Exactly.
Be back for the sequel.
No, how many movies have you seen like in New York that they fall and they land in like a dumpster, like full of like
Trash and stuff.
yeah, full of trash?
Oh
It's
my
like,
God. Of course.
yeah, you see that in movies all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan does it like twice a movie.
At least.
They just threw away a perfectly good white boy.
Yep.
Where's that
You know,
from?
it's a it's a real shame when white folk be throwing away a perfectly good white boy like that.
Yeah, what was that from? Better Off Dead?
Better Off
Correct.
Dead.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Omar Epps actually took classes and learned how to DJ and spin in real life. So most of the stuff that he was doing on the movie, he was actually doing in real life.
He was trying to mimic. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty, yeah. I mean, like I said, I that friend that said that, like, oh, some of that stuff was like not believable, I guess.
Well, yeah, they said that he learned how to spin, he learned how to DJ. I mean,
Nice.
maybe the one where you're talking is going like,
There might have been like a couple scenes, I guess, that like if you're really studying it, like I said, if you know the craft, you're probably like, that's bullshit. Like, oh, you can't do that, whatever. But yeah, this soundtrack was like phenomenal. So that's like talking about the fun facts. I mean, for me, like this is like the best part of the movie is all the music. So obviously we're talking about EPMD, who was in this.
at the bar scene.
Yeah, in the
And it
bar
was held
scene.
up.
But I was tripping off of all the EPMD album that I know. That was the main one was Business as Usual 1991. That was the one that came out right around the time I started driving and all that. All their albums have business in the title. Strictly Business, Unfinished Business, Business as Usual, Business Never Personal, Back in Business, Out of Business, We Mean Business, and a to-be-announced album called Big Business. So there's a lot of business going on.
A lot of business.
Mind your business.
We talked about Trash from Naughty by Nature being in this movie. That self-titled album came out September of 1991. So that was like, this was coming out right as they were hitting. Like OPP, I don't know if that was really on the charts yet or like a big hit. Special Ed obviously was already big in the rap world this time. Tupac had Tupacalypse Now that came out November 12th in 1991. So it was right before this movie came out. I don't really know that that was like a big hit for him. That album was okay. Like I was never really a huge Tupac fan, like music-wise. On that album, I like the one track, If My Homies Call. That's a good one. Outside of that, a couple of the ones that were like big hits, like Dear Mama or whatever. And those, I was never, and Brenda's Got a Baby, and those, I was never like a huge Tupac fan. But there was a track, like obviously I love Wu-Tang Clan. And there's a guy, Inspector Deck from Wu-Tang, and he goes by INS the Rebel.
Did you see the shirt? This is a Wu shirt, actually.
Is that Wu-Tang? Yeah. Nice. So do yourself a favor and look up on YouTube. It's a Tupac track called Got My Mind Made Up. It's off All Eyes on Me from 96. Now go on YouTube and look up the original version with INS the Rebel, who's Inspector Deck. Tupac actually had that cut from that track. And a lot of people say because the guy did so phenomenal on that track, he's like, I can't have that on my album because the guy's like so much.
What,
like,
the All Eyes on Me? That one?
That album, but the song, It's Got My Mind Made Up.
Okay, I got to check that out.
He cut out the good part because he thought it would outshine his own talent.
Yeah, he cut that off the end. So he has Redman on that track. I don't remember Method Man. There was like 2 or 3 like people on that track. Some people say, oh, he cut it off because he ran out of, want like a 7-minute track. If you skip to the 5-minute part of that song on this original version, that's when his line kicks in. It is like an awesome verse. But those guys are very competitive with rap. And I think it was like he felt threatened.
Dang.
Like, oh, this guy's like way better. One other thing I thought was a fun fact, and we all know that Tupac and Biggie Smalls, there was that beef going back and forth. They both ended up dying. In this movie, Tupac asked Tupac asked Q, are you ready to die? Well, that was the name of Biggie Smalls' like, debut album, You Ready to Die?
Ready to Die.
So you wonder if he took that from the movie because that came out out there.
Maybe.
Dang, this whole thing has been a Tupacalypse.
Pretty much.
Now.
Tupacalypse Now, yeah.
What's it like? There's Tupac had a couple like big hits, but like I never was like into too many of his albums.
Yeah, like I said,
Personally.
I think he was talented. But yeah, I was never like a huge Tupac fan. Like as far as like, I think he's good. I think he's talented and stuff like that. But as far as like rap goes, I was never like a huge Tupac fan. After that Tupacalypse Now, I never bought any of his. Like that one came out in 95. I was kind of out of rap pretty much by then. Like I wasn't really buying newer stuff. My era is like from like 87 to like 94.
Yep.
95 is like cutting it close. And then anything outside of that,
Oh, maybe I was thinking Cutting Crew, not Wrecking Crew. I'm pretty sure.
well, they're
Yeah, the Cutting
that's like
Crew.
a rock group.
I just died in
that's
your
a
arms tonight.
Yeah,
Died in
yep,
your
that's
arms
that
tonight.
one. I just got like one fun fact about Tupac. We were talking about him. He at many times like he would film a scene and just like walk off the set. And Huggy, what was the guy's name? Huggy Hoskins or Huggy?
Huggy Bear.
Huggy Bear.
No, not Huggy Bear. What Hoskins, the director?
Bob Hoskins.
Bob Hoskins.
No,
Moritz.
no.
St. Moritz.
One of the guys that was on the set, like
Dick Dickerson.
Eric Dickerson.
Ernest Dickerson.
No. The guy was named like Huggy Hoskins or something like that. Hold on, let me.
Dirk Diggler.
No, that was another movie. Oh, Jermaine Huggy Hopkins. I'm
Huggy
sorry,
Hopkins.
Jermaine Huggy Hopkins. Tupac Shakur would like just walk off some of the after a scene. He would like walk off the set.
And just
So-
disappear.
Yeah, so to like be a jerk, I guess he came back the one time, and the guy told him, he's like, "Look, man, you're done. You're fired. Like they had enough of you doing this." So I guess he got in like a confrontation, like started
Oh, yeah,
fighting
he
people
wanted
on the
to be-
set. Yeah,
he got all pissed off. I
But,
did hear about that. This was originally made as a independent movie, but it was later bought out by Paramount. I mean, as it did okay, 20 million, so it made 15. You couldn't,
Sure.
you can't really complain with that. Omar Epps, like I said, he was 18 at the time. He was a senior in high school, and I got some of their ages in this. Like I said, the girl from In Vogue was,
he said 24,
she was 30.
30. Oh,
Roughly when they made this. Omar Epps was 18, and Tupac would have been around 20. Omar Epps reminds me of Coach Tomlin for the Steelers. I don't know if you noticed that. You look at him.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Little bit.
Yeah, I can
Definitely
definitely see
like
that.
a young
yeah.
Coach Tomlin.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That jaw. It's definitely the jaw.
Something about him reminds me of Coach Tomlin, Steelers fan. But I know Officer Vince is probably listening to this because he loves 90s hip hop. I'm sure he likes his movie, and I know he likes the Steelers. Wonder what he thinks about that.
Yeah.
He gets that Tomlin comparison. And let me see. One other fun fact here. Oh, okay. Last thing, I'll just go through the track listing for the soundtrack, which
Yeah.
I said is the most important. So you talked about Uptown Anthem was the Naughty by Nature. That was a good one.
That was they played at the end.
Right.
Where I just remember the theater. We waited like everybody's up dancing. It was very cool.
Yeah, it was good. Juice Know the Ledge was Eric B. and Rakim.
Let me see you know the ledge.
Yeah. I love Rakim. He's like one of my favorite for sure. Is It Good to You with Teddy Riley, Tammy Lucas. That was a scene when I think after they hooked up the first time, Q and his girl.
Yep.
Yeah. Sex, Money, and Murder, MC Pooh. I don't really remember that song much off this one. Enough Respect, Big Daddy Kane. I love that song.
Enough respect. Like I said, the whole soundtrack was. I listened to it over and over and over again.
Too Short. So You Want to Be a Gangster. He was another West Coast rapper, Oakland-based guy.
He was shorter than Tom Cruise.
Yeah, Too Short.
Too short was actually 4'1".
In the Trunk. I remember I used to like that jam. Our boys EPMD, It's Going Down was on here. Aaron Hall. Salt and Pepper. Peppa, we'll say, was married to Tretch at one point. Or I don't know if they were technically married, but
I think they lived together.
They were definitely
Yeah.
together.
They were living in sin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shoot 'Em Up was the Cypress Hill track. That was on the actual soundtrack, but not. I think it might have played at one part in the
Played
movie,
it,
like in
yeah.
the background.
I think it was in Tripp's place or something when they were in there playing video games.
Yeah, and a couple of these other tracks, I don't know, Juvenile Committee, Son of Berserk, Raheem, Does Your Man Know About Me, and then Brand New Heavies. And that Brand New Heavies, I kind of remember them having a song or two. But for me, the standout tracks on here were the Up Down Anthem, The Juice, Know the Ledge, and the Enough Respect. Too Short as well. But yeah, it was definitely a good soundtrack, and I think that made the movie for me as well. Back then, made me want to go see it. Definitely a good pick, Matt. I mean, it was something different than what we normally do, and it brought up that nostalgia for sure.
Yeah, we're getting off some of our like John Hughes and Spielberg
Yeah,
and
this definitely was not
some of the whitest movies in America.
yeah, for sure. This was not a John Hughes movie in
No.
any way. But also noticed his homemade speaker in his room was a pile. Woofer. P-Y-L-E.
L-E, yeah.
I couldn't imagine having a speaker that big in an apartment like that. Because he was living in an apartment.
Not
his
happening.
Neighbors would have been like flipping that.
Wonder if he got that like at a swap meet or something.
I don't know. That was a nice system though. Yeah, definitely has some money in it. But yeah, definitely.
I think that's it. I think that's the juice.
Pretty much juice. Yeah. So I guess this is the time where we late fee, return, or burn.
Okay.
So I'll let you start it off, Matt, since it's your movie.
I would return this movie, but again, like I keep saying the same thing. I would like continually watch it as much. I don't know if I would pay extra for it because I know I'd like see it again. someday.
Right. Yeah, this is one of them things again where at this time in my life I'm returning it. Back when I first saw it, I was definitely excited to probably watch it again just to catch cameos or different parts that I missed, or the music parts.
I mean, we saw it in a theater, like its purest form.
Well, I definitely saw it in the theater when we went. We saw it. I definitely, I'm sure, rented it when it came out on VHS and watched it again. And I'm probably in the same boat. At this point, I'm going to return it, probably watch it, a couple times before I take it back. I'm not burning it. I mean, like I said, I don't think it's the greatest movie, like, this was like a masterpiece, but it's the nostalgia factor for me, and the cameos in it, Special Ed and EPMD, and it was just cool to see all those guys. So I guess it's off to Zap, getting his lighter out.
I wouldn't burn it. I'm somewhere in between return and burn.
Okay.
Like, I would begrudgingly return this with thinking about wanting to burn it, but I wouldn't burn it.
It's not on that. It's
not that bad. I just don't share the same nostalgia as you guys do.
Right.
Not for nothing. I mean, I like this movie better when they called it Boys in the Hood.
That's what I was going to say.
Or Straight Outta Brooklyn.
You brought up a good point about it's sharing similar plot lines to like Boys in the Hood.
Right.
But I think the early 90s, like the movies set in the cities and stuff like that, like more to like a black urban type younger kid, like I think they were all kind of filmed,
sure,
kind of like how we look at like a lot of the movies, like like the Better Off Deads or 16 Candles or something like that.
It's all the same. It's very similar concept.
It's all the same concept. They're just in different places using different people
from different people's perspectives.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like saying I liked The Mummy better when they called it Indiana Jones.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Yep. I think that for me, like Menace to Society, comparing the movies. So Menace to Society came out after this. I think Menace to Society is a better movie than Juice. And Boys in the Hood, I haven't seen in a while, but I remember liking that, but probably because Ice Cube and all that. I like Ice Cube, but I mean, I definitely like Juice. I think Menace to Society held up better watching it because we did that recently, like within a year. But similar storylines, like, a friend getting in trouble, at a liquor store, convenience store, and then you're caught up in it. And, do you
remember the St. Ides commercial? Head into the liquor store. You know what I'm looking for.
Was that, it was St. Ides?
Yeah, it was Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube.
Speaking of that,
St. Ides.
did you guys? I partaked in malt liquor as a youngster.
Yeah.
Did you?
Oh, of course.
And that would fuck you up big time, dude.
Listen, whatever you drink in quantity of beer, whatever you were used to drinking that and knowing that would get you messed up, you had to cut that in half for 40s. You had to. That malt liquor got you real fucked up.
Crazy Horse.
Crazy Horses, yeah. Old worst. English.
Fun fact, what used to be sold in glass bottles, Old English now offers 40-ounce plastic bottles.
Yes, I've seen that.
Yeah.
OD.
Available at your local liquor store.
The one that was kind of a little tame was Colt 45. Like, I could drink that and get away with it. Like Crazy Horse, I remember like really getting me. St. Ides, Old English, they were all like stronger to me. Colt 45, I could drink like 2 of them maybe. You know what I mean?
See, I don't think we drank 40s like
I did.
I would know. We would drink 40s, but I would like pour it out in a glass and put it in the refrigerator.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I didn't like the warm shit at the bottom. I don't know.
Drink it real fast.
Yeah,
I didn't like the flavor.
That was the whole concept, to drink it quickly to get real fucked up.
Yeah, because I didn't like the taste. I mean, it tasted like shit.
It does. It did and does. There was nothing good about cracking that. Oh man, that tastes so good.
Was that Mickey's Big Mouth?
Never happened.
Was that malt liquor?
Yeah, Mickey's Big Mouth.
Yeah,
and I hate them the worst.
Oh,
They're
I like those.
They're pretty terrible.
I like the little Hornet guys.
Worst flavor. Now, to be fair, I didn't really acquire a taste for beer until much later, like in my 20s. I would drink it just to get drunk. It wasn't like I was savoring, this, tastes so good.
There was no such thing as craft beers in those days.
No.
They were definitely, people would say, acquired taste, but yeah, the malt liquor, that shit would get you, man.
I think malt liquor was crafted in a bathtub.
Yeah.
it was
that was the only craft to it.
Yeah. Fun fact, Piccolos.
Yes.
#1 nationwide.
40 sales.
Colt 45 sales for
Harrisburg.
For years running. No, the nation.
The nation.
Wow.
The country of America.
Damn. I contributed to that.
Don't Yingling have 40s now too?
Don't.
sure.
What did you? Don't Yingling got to. What did you just say?
No, Yingling. They got 40s.
Oh, for real?
Yes.
What?
Yingling has 40s.
Get
No
the
way.
fuck out of here.
Go into like
I know they sell quarts.
No. Start like drive a little bit upstate. You can buy 40s of Yingling.
I know you can buy quarts.
Not the quarts, not the what is that? 22 or 20
So a quart is 32 ounces.
32. Yeah, no, they have the 40 ouncer.
That's wild.
Dang.
I didn't know that. I mean, I haven't had a 40 in years, but I remember that was just kind of the
There's
thing,
no need for a 40
There isn't.
anymore.
No. I'm 40, over 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear that Edward 40 hands where you would like
have like a bunch of 40s
No, you would
stuff,
duct tape 2 40s so you had to finish them before you could do anything?
Nah, I never,
Never
did that
heard of
one.
that.
We played
Okay.
that in college. 40 hands.
Yeah,
Edward
Edward 40
hands.
hands.
Nice.
That's a lot of drinking.
And then
It
by
is.
play, I mean, you just,
Played.
there's no playing
guys.
involved.
Right.
Like a commercial for it.
Want to
guys,
play
over
40
here.
hands?
But anyway, no. Like I thank you guys for doing this movie. Like it just brings me back. I see it. I get some laughs. I dig the soundtrack, like you said. Nostalgia.
No,
Hmm.
definitely for me too, man. I appreciate it, and Zab, thanks for writing everything up for us.
Yes, thanks, Zab.
And yeah, that was awesome. So, anything
Matt,
else,
thanks for taking us through on this, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
'cause
thank you.
I honestly couldn't stomach taking us through this movie.
Yeah, so
No, it's not that bad. It was not that bad.
so this should be coming out in the new year. So we're back. Should be 2024 by now. So I'm
Happy
sure-
New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. I'm
Happy
sure,
New Year.
I'm sure we'll be back with another cool vintage cinema review. And don't forget, every other week is true crime and compelling stories. Reach out to us on Facebook and Instagram. Drop us a message. Let us know how we're doing, what you want us to cover, what you'd like us to, do on the true crime or the movie review. And don't forget to leave us that 5-star rating on Spotify, Apple. You can leave a written review. I guess that's it. So we'll catch you where?
On the flip side,
If we don't see you sooner, we'll see you later.
peace. Thanks for listening to The Vintage Cinema Review in the Old Dirty Basement. If you dig our theme music like we do, check out the Tsunami Experiment. Find them on Facebook. Their music is streaming on Spotify and Apple, and where great music is available.
You can find us at Old Dirty Basement on Facebook and Instagram, and at Old Dirty Basement Podcast on TikTok.
Peace.
We Audi 5000.